Hi neighbors, welcome back to another video of Cooking with Neighbors. You're my neighbors. I like cooking with you. I enjoy being here. My name is Jerry and today I am doing a vintage recipe. I am addicted to vintage cooking and vintage recipes. I have some on the channel, but going forward there's going to be many more. Many more. I'm going to repeatedly come back here weekly with vintage recipes. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. As much as we enjoyed eating this, I hope you enjoy watching it. Maybe enjoy making it yourself at home. So let's get into it. Good Housekeeping book, 1958, is where I got this recipe from. So it says to cook in a fry thing like this here is what I believe the recipe means. So I'm going to use my modern day one. Recipe says to add 1/4 cup of cooking oil and cut up 3 pounds of round steak, 1/4 inch thick. And I have 1/2 cup of all-purpose flour that I'm adding 1 1/2 teaspoons of salt and 1/2 teaspoon of pepper to the flour, and give that all a good mix together. And I'm going to wash my hands and press the steak into the flour, each piece of steak, and add it to my hot oil. I also have some fat that I trimmed off of it that I'm going to add to the oil as well. Just render it down and add a bit of that fat from the steak to that cooking oil. Why not? Why not? It doesn't say to do that, but I'm doing it. I absolutely love vintage cookbooks. Like, I'm obsessed with them. I really am. And I'm just adding the floured pieces to my hot oil, like I say, and I want to brown them up a bit. I'm not actually going to make the full amount the recipe calls for, but I'm going to tell you the measurements in the recipe. It calls for 2 cups of onion. I'm probably going to grab another onion and chop it up. So get that done. And 8 or 9 potatoes. Peel them, wash them, and cut those. I just cut them in half because they're not very big. And 6 carrots, and peel and wash and quarter those up. I'm cutting them into nice sized chunks. I just know that we are not going to be able to eat the full recipe, so I just scaled it back to what I know we would eat. And now my steak is nice and browned, and I'm going to flip them over. Perhaps this is a recipe like that you already tried. I have a Swiss steak done, I guess, the more traditional way on the channel already. And I came across this in the cookbook, and I'm like, you know what? This sounds really good. I'm going to give it a try. It's not the same as what I already done, and it comes together so easy. And we know we like Swiss steak in this house because it ends up so tender. You can get like a tougher cut and it ends up nice and tender. So then now, after you browned up your steak, you're going to take them out. Just put them on a plate or what have you. And now we're just going to add our chopped onion to the oil that we fried up our steak in. And you just want to soften the onion. You know what? I have a lot of vintage cookbooks, and I have a particular one that's being shipped to me that has recipes in it from Canada that I am so excited to make and share with you all. I'm excited about so many things that I want to share. I think I'm going to have to live to be like 300 years old to get through them all. But I'm having a good time, and I hope that you guys are having a good time here. I appreciate every single one of you. I really do. I'm just going to turn this down a little bit. I'm just going to paper towel some of that grease up out of the pan. There we go. And add your steak back to the pan with the onions. It calls for 1.5 cans of tomato soup, undiluted at first. But instead of me freezing 1/2 can of tomato soup for later, I'm just going to use 2 full cans of tomato soup. And then it calls for a full can of water. And I'll add the full can of water and a little bit more since I'm using 2 full cans of the tomato soup. Just pour this on over all that steak and onion and put the lid on it. When it comes up to a bit of a bubble, turn it down to a simmer. And now about 40 minutes have passed. And when the steak feels a bit tender, this is when you're going to add your carrots and your potatoes to the mix. It's already smelling good. Not a lot of seasonings. You don't need to have a lot in to make this dish. I'm going to salt and pepper my potatoes and carrots because I just have to salt and pepper it since I put potatoes need a little bit of salt and pepper, in my opinion anyway. Get some of the bits of steak up from underneath and just kind of mix everything and mingle it all together. Just return the lid and bring it up to a bubble again and turn it back down to a simmer again. Book is all about when you have company over and what to do, and this little part here is about setting and seating and serving. I just love it. All kinds of little bits of info in it. And so basically after 40 minutes or so, your vegetables are fork tender, and you get yourself a package of frozen peas. And I don't have a package, I had a bag, so I'm just putting a good cup of frozen peas in with into the sauce and everything, mix it all about. The recipe actually says to break your package, like to break your peas and package of peas into wedges and put your wedges into the sauce to heat it through. Return the cover 10 minutes later, turn it off. It's all heated through. The peas are not frozen anymore, and let's have good tasty poo. So tender. So tender. The beef flavored that tomato soup. Certainly, this is a good base for you if you want to just go just as it is. It is tasty, but some personal touches with some garlic. And the cans of tomato soup say that they have spices and seasonings. I don't know what spices and seasonings they have, but they have something. You know, maybe a little bit of oregano. Make it your own, but it is tasty. It is very tasty. That's a winner. I'll make it again. Another way that you can make it. I'm surprised how much I like the tomato soup in it. But you can use whole tomatoes. Season it the way that you want. Crushed tomatoes, whatever, you know, tomato sauce, marinara. But I do like the tomato soup. It is nice. Anyway, peace, love, and God bless. Please come back again. My precious angel was sleeping and I disturbed her. I wanted just to show everyone how cute you are, Henrietta, before we get on to the next recipe. Yes.